Welcome back to the show, Jerome Niedorf.
Good morning.
You know, we take breaks during the show. We were sitting and we were talking about the ability for people to buy a home. And you said to me, this is really the best time to buy a home. But rather than give a sales pitch, let's go through some of the mathematics of what people can and cannot afford and how you go about getting them pre-approved.
Okay, what the mathematics is this. We take what their income is and just rule of thumb, roughly 30% of their gross monthly income can be house payment. So consequently, if they've got $6,000 a month in household income, that equates to about a $2,000 a month payment. Okay, I'm sorry, $1,800 a month.
Right.
My math isn't working this morning.
No, that's fine.
$1,800 a month house payment. And so consequently, what we do then is we back out the taxes and insurances that are required, and that leaves a principal and interest, and that principal and interest will tell us how much mortgage that will then carry. That's how we back into the price range that people should go house shopping for. And I just talked to a gal this past week. When we took the income number and I told her how much that this would carry house payment, she says, oh my goodness, I don't want a payment that much. What will this much payment that I can easily then qualify for? What price range should I be looking at in order to stay with this payment? And so that is the variations of talking ahead of time so we know what they're doing.
Okay, so what you're saying then is that with the median price of a home in Las Vegas, and for your information, median means half the homes are sold above and half the homes are below that, as opposed to an average price. So the median is somewhere in the 250s or 260s right now. So after a down payment, people can actually buy a house in the 250 or 260 that price range that 3 or 4 years ago or 2 years ago was worth more.
Well, and this is it, and this is what we're seeing is, the people are seeing these homes they're saying, well, gee, someone lost this house, or this house was foreclosed upon and it's a $200,000 or $250,000 house. Wrong. When those people were foreclosed upon, they probably had a $350,000, $400,000 mortgage. That's the mortgage payment they couldn't afford. Now the house is being brought back on. I've got a situation that the loan package went into underwriting, and it was one of the people that Ann worked with. They finally arrived at a mutual price to purchase the home for $180,000. And when I say arrived at, most of the foreclosures, interestingly enough, are still going a tad more than what their banks put them on at, because there's some really nice buys out there. They purchased the house for $180,000, it appraised for $220,000. Okay, now we still base their down payment off of the $180,000, but that gives you an idea of why I'm saying it's the time to buy. And on top of it, the interest rates are still very, very favorable. So there's a lot of right things happening right now, but there's also a lot of bad press talking about, gee, there's a lot of people lost their home. That is correct, but the person that is now prepared to buy, it makes it a real good time for them.
Now, if a home sells for $180,000 and the appraised value comes in at $220,000, that's what the house is worth. Is that not correct? If people a year or 2 years and it stays stable and doesn't go down, would they have more, not equity, but...
Yeah, they will have equity. These people have immediate equity. Right. Now, what's going to happen is if there's any more houses like that sell and close for $180,000, then those are going to be the new comparables that the appraisers are going to have to start using, which will give us a new adjusted value. But off of today's market, that's where it's at on the other homes that have sold like it. And this is what the appraisers go by. And so consequently, if you get many more of them, appraising or selling at the 180, that's going to bring this price down. And those are the numbers that you're seeing in the newspaper where it says, well, gee, values just went down to X. That's because people are making some really good buys out there right now.
we have all of these people who have foreclosed. Where is the marketplace for those who have not had their homes foreclosed to buy a home? I mean, why are they not buying a home now? Do you have any?
I think a lot of it has to do with the bad press that we're getting. There was an article this last week talking all the doom and gloom. Well, they're talking on the side of the unfortunate people that got into bad loan programs or got into houses that they couldn't afford. On the flip side, interest rates are favorable, and like I tell the people, I have the fun part. All I do is lend money. Right. I do know that the people that I have approved that are out there house hunting, because their loan is in place, all they've got to do is find a home, they're having to make offers on 3 and 4 properties in order to get one accepted, which tells me when this data comes out in May that talks about what happened in March and April, you're going to see that there was some rather healthy numbers of homes selling.
Okay. One of the other good things, and I hate to say this, that has helped the market for loans is there's not a lot of new home construction going on, which means that the inventory of the existing resale or previously owned homes makes it an even stronger way to buy a home, because you're not having builders compete with the resale home market. You've got one area that they're pricing their homes that you can get loans for.
Absolutely. And you know, when we as a mortgage lender, when we look at a market such as Las Vegas, you talk about how many months supply of homes is on the market. If the normal absorption rate would go back to where we were in 2002, 2003, before the spike up, before everything got really crazy here, between new homes and resale, we were having somewhere in the 5,000, 5,500, 6,000 range as far as homes closing on average. Well, without the new homes in there competing, and if you drop it down to, let's say, 5,000, that gives you a MLS inventory that is very sustainable as far as a 90-day to 120-day supply of 20,000 homes. So if the people would just say, okay, we've not bought our home that we've been thinking about for 2 or 3 years, they're the fortunate ones. They need to step into this market and take advantage of these prices. And once that starts to happen, the inventory is going to go rather quickly.
Okay, your subject material for you to study up for next week's interview are other ways that other sources of assistance can come to help buy a home, a la aunts, uncles, relatives, brothers, sons.
And we use them all already.
You do. So let's talk about how we might be able to look other places for assistance on the down payment and to be able to qualify.
We can do that.
Okay, good. Jerome, I need your telephone number.
Okay, 595-4118 is my cellular, which is the best way to get hold of me.
595-4118. Jerome Niedorf, thanks, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you.